Let's go right to the chase, boss. Alright, why is Sucrose the best support for Xiao? Why will she be? What build does she need? All that will be discussed in this video, but it also was discussed in the last video. It wasn't as discussed in depth, but I'm going to go really in depth with this and explain why this is going to be such a big impact on Xiao and why she's going to be probably the best for his team comp, right? Before we get into this video though, I just want to say if you are new to the channel, we are almost at 1,100 subscribers. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Join the subscribers on the grind to 1,500, guys. And also like this video, you're going to enjoy this video. So anyway, let's get into this video. Okay guys, Sucrose. You're probably saying, why Sucrose? Why this? Why that? Well, it's because not only is she an animal, so she's going to provide, let me also show you what she's going to provide once you put double animal on the team. As you can see right here, this decreases once you have 2 animals on your team. For elemental resonance, it will give you decreased stamina consumption by 15%, increased movement speed by 10%, and it will shorten your cooldown by 5%. Now you're probably asking, okay, so why does this even correlate to Xiao? Well, if you do know Xiao, his cooldown, his skill cooldown being decreased is really good because it already has a 10-second cooldown, and for it to go even shorter is really good. And he has a double, it's a double elemental skill. It's something just like Cleese, where she could throw out 2 Jumpty Dumpties. He can do 2 of his elemental skills, which is where he dashes forward really fast with animal damage, and you could dash any direction. You could dash up, down, you could dash anywhere, mid-air, anywhere, right? So this is really good because it's decreasing the cooldown of this elemental skill for 5%, and it's not only him, it's the whole team. So that's really good, and this correlates to also Sucrose, because we're going to get into that, but this also correlates to Sucrose as well, which is really good for her. And the stamina consumption is also good, as well as the movement speed. That's just natural, right? So let's go ahead and get on to why Sucrose is the best for Xiao and what's her build and what this character does, right? Alright, here we have Sucrose. Of course you know she is animal. And let's go over her talents and whatnot. We have her normal attack. That's not what really matters, but it does deal animal damage, guys. Y'all already know. And charge attack consumes stamina and does animal damage as well. This is her elemental skill. It creates a small wind spirit that pulls opponents and objects towards it, towards its location, and launches the enemy within its AoE. It deals animal damage. These are the skill attributes. The cooldown is 15 seconds, and that's why I said once you have double animal on the team, the 5% decreased cooldown is really good because it supports her cooldown as well. It's not the most, but it's still something. It's better than nothing. You see what I'm saying? And also, you're gaining a lot of support for the team as well as Xiao mainly, right? So you can see the skill damage is 211. You want to get Sucrose. If you have Sucrose, if you want to have her ready for Xiao, you have, and I cannot stress, you have to, you don't have to level these up, but leveling these up would be really good. But you have to have a certain set on her for her to really work. And it's actually a broken set. I'm going to explain it in a few moments. But before we explain that, let's go over her combat talent of her elemental burst, right? Sucrose hurls a unstable concoction that creates a large wind spirit while it persists. The large wind spirit will continuously pull in surrounding opponents and objects, and then launch nearby opponents into. So it's similar to Venti's elemental burst, except not like Venti's elemental burst, right? So it also has elemental absorption, meaning whatever element you put into it while it's sucking everybody in, it's going to basically, if the wind spirit comes in contact with hydro, pyro, cryo, electro energy, it will deal additional elemental damage of that type. The elemental absorption may only occur once per use, of course, right? We have the skill attributes, which is the damage over time is 148%, additional elemental damage is 44%, duration is 6 seconds, cooldown is 20 seconds, energy cost is 80. That is a big energy cost, but we're not going to talk about it. This is where she really shines, and this is where she's going to support the team, but mainly she's going to support Xiao. So right here we have our first passive talent, which is unlocked at, what is this, Ascension 1, I believe, right? And then this is Ascension 4. So Ascension 1, when Sucrose triggers a swirl reaction, all characters in the party with the matching element, aka Xiao's going to have also swirl because he's Animo. So Animo has the matching element to Sucrose, meaning all characters in the party with the matching element, excluding Sucrose of course, have their elemental mastery increased by 50 for 8 seconds, which means Xiao's elemental mastery is going to go up by 50. That's really good for reactions, right? And then we also have the second passive, which is when her elemental skill, is a stable animal hypostasis creation 6308 or forbidden creation isomer 75 type 2. Hit an opponent, meaning her elemental skill or her elemental burst. When it hits an opponent, it increases all the party members, excluding Sucrose of course, elemental mastery by an amount equal to 20% of Sucrose's elemental mastery for 8 seconds. Meaning the higher elemental mastery you have on your Sucrose, the more she's going to support the team. So what would you build her with? This is what you would build her with right here. Not this set. I'm going to show you exactly what the set is. It's actually the Viridescent Venereers. I'm just saying VV again. I'm tired. Okay, so it's the Viri set, right? You want this set because it gives, not only does it give the 2-piece set gives animal damage plus 15%, but the 4-piece set also increases her swirl damage by 60%. But this is what you really want it for. It decreases the opponent's elemental res to the element infused in the swirl by 40% for 10 seconds. So you're decreasing your enemy's res. You could decrease it to swirl, you could decrease it to pyro, you could decrease it to cryo, you could decrease it to anything. I'm sorry I messed it up. So this is gonna work because once you have Xiao and you have the build on him, if you don't know what build you should put on him, I put it in the last video. I'm going to link it at the end of this video. But basically, when you build your Xiao, you want to build him with either a 2-piece gladiator set plus a 2-piece Viridescent set, or you want to build him with a 4-piece gladiator set, depending on your preference. But what you mainly want is what you want on your Eon is okay, so let me not make it specific because you all think it's specific. What you want on your Eon, your Eonthym, and your Logos, these 3 right here, you want attack percent, crit damage percent, as well as animal percent, because you're going to need these stats so that you could boost his attack. Not only you want to boost his attack since he's a DPS, you also want to boost his animal as much as possible. You want a lot of animal damage that you're going to put out. And as you do know, Xiao, when he transforms, his damage is increased by 68.8% because of how his elemental burst works, right? So once you transform, everything's converted to animal damage. So that's why you want your animal damage percentage, and then that's why you want your attack percentage, because your attack percentage correlates to element and normal attack and charge attack, all that. That's what attack percent correlates to. So you want your animal damage percent, and you want your attack percent and the crit damage percent, because you're gonna have a high crit rate, because on your substats you should fish for crit rate if possible, or you could try to run something a little bit different from others, or a little bit different from the set I said. You can experiment. You could run a crit rate instead of crit damage, or a crit rate instead of attack percent, but I feel like you should just run crit rate on the substats and keep the 3 main stats like I said, right? So crit rate, run on the substats, and also I believe that the weapon that you are going to give to Xiao has crit rate, and crit rate is what you're going to need to hit all those big crit damage numbers. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so now you're probably asking, okay, what does this have to do with this? What does this have to do? So like I said, in turn, you have this set on Xiao. Your Xiao is built really good. You have the animal damage, you have the attack percent, you have the crit damage, you have the gladiator set, Viridescent set, or you just have a 4-piece gladiator set. But now, once you go into your Yaksha form, you are dealing swirl damage. Once you do that swirl damage, you are decreasing... Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. You are decreasing your enemy's elemental resistance to the element that you infuse with swirl. So swirl, you're going to decrease their res to swirl by 40%. So they're going to be taking massive damage from swirl, and that's in turn going to make it even more stronger, because when he's in Yaksha form, he also has a passive of where he increases his attack by 5% every 3 seconds, meaning it goes to a max of 25% since his form lasts 15 seconds, right? And also, once you have this set, once you get this full set, you want the 4-piece set on your Sucrose. You want to try your best, and I mean your best, to get these 3 pieces with elemental mastery, so that once you get all 3 pieces, you can max them out and have max elemental mastery. Because and if you can get elemental mastery on the substats like this, that would be cool as well. But what you're really fishing for is on these 3 right here, you want elemental mastery, all 3 of them, if possible, right? So make sure you have elemental mastery on the Logos, the Eonthym, and also the Eon. And you want to max these 3 out. You don't have to necessarily max these 2 out. You just really want those elemental masteries, because you're going to need it. The more, remember guys, the higher your elemental mastery, the better this is going to work right here. Her second passive, which is once you hit an opponent with either elemental skill or elemental burst, This will increase your team's elemental mastery by an amount equal to 20% of Sucrose's elemental mastery. Higher elemental mastery on Sucrose, the higher you're going to get on that 20%. And also another good thing about this set, once you put it on Sucrose, is that this elemental res decrease lasts for 10 seconds. So you have an opponent with decreased elemental res 40% for 10 seconds, and Xiao's elemental burst lasts for 15 seconds, meaning you're gonna have basically 369 plus 15% damage bonus in that time. So you're gonna, well, what I'm saying is, from his passive, like I said, you gain 5% attack every 3 seconds. So if you're going for 10 seconds, that's a max of 15% attack basically, right? So you're getting 15% plus attack, plus his elemental burst base damage of how much he gets once he transforms, and then plus the elemental res decrease for 40%. So you're just gonna be doing massive, you're gonna be chunking out massive damage with this character. And like I said, please guys, I'm not gonna stress enough, make sure you have elemental mastery on your Sucrose, okay? Alright, now before we end this video, as you can see, we're gonna look at some Xiao gameplay. I wanted to discuss, this is without the Sucrose build, but what I'm looking at right now is how Xiao has his weapon, and also his he might have a gladiator set on him, I don't know, but he does have the weapon that Xiao's most likely, when his banner launches, he's gonna have a weapon banner that's also gonna launch with him, and it's not gonna be like included with him, but it's gonna be like on the weapons banner tab, and you're going to basically look at this damage, guys. So you're basically every time I see this damage, I'm just baffled, because like I'm wondering if they're gonna nerf him, but they really shouldn't, because of the what he's losing when he's in this form is that 3% HP every second, and it's for 15 seconds, so that's a lot of HP you're losing, right? So I feel like they shouldn't nerf the form. It's definitely balanced. Even though he just did that to the boss, we see videos of literally every character, almost every character one-shotting a boss. So it's perfectly fine. They shouldn't nerf him at all. But yeah, as I was saying, this is most likely with the build. This is most likely the gladiator set build on him with animal damage, or it's probably just the 2-piece gladiator, 2-piece viridescent, right? We don't know, but I do know that he's chunking out massive damage with this weapon, and this weapon has a crit rate, and also you can see he's doing a lot of crits. But not only is that what we're looking at, once Sucrose is on the team, this is going to even do more damage. So as you can see right here, right? When he's battling the boss, there's no decrease in elemental res to swirl. There's nothing. He's just doing raw damage from Xiao, right? Look at this right here. Transforms, raw damage right here. Boom. There's no elemental res decrease. So imagine guys, if you had Sucrose and you did elemental res decrease for 40% for 10 seconds while you're in Xiao's form. He's going to be chunking out way more damage than 30k, right? If you build, this is a level 90 build though, guys. Level 90, probably max artifacts, max weapon, and everything. But you're going to be chunking out tons of damage, is what I'm saying. Because the reason Sucrose is so important to this set is because of her elemental mastery that she gives you, and also for the viridescent set to hold that 4-piece set to give us the decrease in elemental res on our opponent for 40% for 10 seconds. This is probably the perfect duo, but this is in turn, there's probably other choices that you can do. But what you want to do mainly is, please, and I mean what you want to do mainly is literally get an animal user this set. You need an animal user. I feel like it either should be Sucrose or it can be Jean. But I don't know about Venti. The reason I don't know about Venti is because let me actually go show you what Venti does, right? So we have Venti right here. We have Venti's talents, as you can see right here. The first passive he has is holding Skyward Sonic creates an upcurrent, which is really not that useful, because I mean Xiao already has the jumping ability where he could jump literally basically as far up as an up current, if farther, and then do his plunge damage. He already naturally has that in, so you don't really need Venti to do this so that he can make a current and then you could jump. No, you don't need this at all, right? And then we have Storm Eye. Regenerate 15 energy for Venti after the effects of the Wind's Grand Odi. If an elemental absorption occurred, this also restores 15 energy to all characters of that corresponding element in the party, right? So that means, like, basically if you do his elemental burst, and then you go attack and like do animal damage with your Xiao. Now you're going to get 15 energy to your Xiao as well as your venti. Since you only did swirl damage, this is of a corresponding element, right? So that's good for the 15 energy. It helps replenish Xiao's ultimate, his ultimate move or his elemental burst faster. But in my opinion, I feel like this is not really a super support. Yeah, he can bring everybody in one area. That is really good. That is really, really good. But honestly, you have Sucrose. Sucrose can do the same thing on her elemental burst, and she also can do the same thing on her elemental skill, unlike Venti. Venti is good, but Venti is just not a support for Xiao. Sucrose wins this war. That's why I say she is the best support, because not only is she supporting him by doing all this, like putting them in one area, she's also giving elemental mastery and even more elemental mastery back to Xiao, and she's also going to hold the 4-piece Viridescent set and then give us that negative 40% elemental res on our enemies, right? So that is really about it. That is why she's extremely good. Make sure when you build this set on your Sucrose, you can start readying up right now. You can start farming for the Viridescent or Viri set right now, and you could try your best to get try your best to get elemental mastery on the main stats of your Eon, your Eon them, and your crown. You could try your best to get the elemental mastery. It shouldn't be too hard, right? So hopefully I wish you luck with that, but definitely you should start farming now if you're going to summon for Xiao. If you're saving over 20k primal gems for him, you just definitely need to start building his team right now. Definitely need to start farming his items right now. So for sure guys, make sure you get this 4-piece Viri set for his support, which is Sucrose, and I've already explained everything. Make sure you have the elemental mastery. Always make sure. And that is really about it for this video. That is why Sucrose is the best support for Xiao, and I can't even explain it any other ways. This is really, I don't have genes, so I can't really explain a lot about that, but I feel like either way Sucrose would win because of how much she is offering to Xiao and how this set, this very decent set, is perfect on her. Because let me explain why this is perfect on her. Because of how our passive works, once you do an elemental skill, you do swirl damage, right? So that increases by 50 elemental mastery for 8 seconds, right? But then that also means, look, as soon as you do the elemental skill, you're proccing both her passives, right? So you're getting all that elemental mastery, and then once you get all that elemental mastery, boom, negative 40% elemental res to your enemy, meaning your enemy is going to take tons of damage, especially if you do your elemental reaction. It's going to take tons of damage from Xiao, like I mean million. That's why this set works really good with her. It's like a stack to her. It's like, it literally is like this set is meant for her, right? So definitely guys, make sure you get this set for her. Make sure you start farming right now, because Xiao is coming. He's on the way, and he does need a lot of materials that are pretty decently hard to get, but not too hard to get. Just get the farming right now, and also build your Sucrose. You know Sucrose is the best support for Xiao. Build her right, okay? So anyway, that's really about it for this video. I just want to discuss why Sucrose was the best support for Xiao, and like unlike Venti, you know. So anyway, that is about it for this video. I hope this video did help you. Like I said, get the farming, and that's really about it. If you did like this video, go ahead and smash the like button down below. Join the subscribers on the grind to 1,500 subscribers. We are almost at 1,100, guys. I appreciate y'all so much. Let's keep up the grind, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Also, let me know if you want me to do any type of video. Let me know down in the comment section below. I can make videos if you want it to be a guide, if you want it to be gameplay, if you want it to be anything. Let me know down in the comment section below, and I will do it, okay? I will do it for you guys, because I love y'all, and I only want to, not only do I love this, but I know y'all love this, and I want to make it to where y'all love it even more. So I want to do what y'all want. Okay? So anyway, guys, I love y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next video. Peace out.